After last week's video, I received a ton of inquiries asking about venue politics. So in this video, I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts when playing live. So COVID's passing now, there's going to be plenty of opportunities coming. So, okay, number one tip, always be prepared. Now, I know that sounds obvious, but I've seen it too many times, and that means you need to know what type of music the venue plays, and you have to turn up with the right kind of music for that event. The worst thing you can ever do when playing live is turn up with the wrong kind of music. And if you do, expect to be kicked off and, never ask back again. Okay, so to find out what music the venue specializes in, your best bet is to go to the event when you're not playing, get a feel for the party, notice what the other DJs are playing on the night and what they're playing at what time of night as well, and what the crowd's responding to. And if you live in another city and let's say you're traveling to your show, then you're best off liaising with the promoters beforehand and just clarify what they expect from you. See, you could even ask them what music they do specialize in. And for instance, let's say it's a techno club, okay? You could ask them, did they want you to keep it more commercial? For instance, tracks you may find in the techno top 100 in Beatport, or is it more of a raw and underground kind of feel and party? And perhaps they may even suggest some artists that usually get a good response. So for instance, let's say you're playing a techno party and the promoter tells you, oh, the crowd really likes Amelie Lenz kind of stuff, You could then search similar artists and build a really cool playlist. So having the right kind of music for the event seems obvious, but it's pretty important. But one thing quickly, if you are playing at a house party or a student event, I would have at least one playlist with some more commercial music prepared, just in case that party takes a bit of an unexpected turn and the people there are requesting music that's a little bit more well known. So for house parties, I usually go in with a mantra, and that is I have music that's fun, upbeat and familiar. Now, once you know what type of music to have, always over prepare and have more music than you could possibly ever play in one night. So too often what I see is new DJs turning up and playing a pre-planned set, and when the crowd doesn't respond, instead of being flexible and adapting to the energy in the room, they keep playing, right, like what they're prepared. And honestly, if you're prepared and it's not working, it can be catastrophic to the energy in the club. So my advice is, if you can get through 20 tracks in the time that you're playing, have 50, And if it was me, I would even have additional playlists by genres and subgenres. And this means if the crowd is more commercial in feel, I can jump to another playlist and adjust my plan according to the energy in the room and what people are responding to on the night. Okay, so number two, the second area where people go wrong is they get their show and they focus all of their attention on the music and preparing the right kind of music, right? But they spend no time promoting the show. So too often I see opening DJs playing to themselves and people walking in and thinking the venue has no vibe and just walking straight back out again. So promoting your show, you assure there is some energy in the room, and ideally people are there especially for you, right? And if you turn up and let's say you have a handful of friends but they're all dancing and they're supporting your set, then it acts like a magnet. And every single time, like I've seen students play, at my club events and stuff like that, if they've got like a little bit of support on the floor, the room builds quickly every time because people are there to kind of like dance and go off. And honestly, if you've got no one there, it can be super depressing. And no matter how good the music is, if there's no atmosphere in the room, the chances are that you're never going to get asked back. So when you get a show, sure, work on some music, right? Get that right. But also create some attention around the fact that you've got a show. Share the art, share the event, tell all your friends. And it's not like you're guilting them to come out. It's more like you're using your shows and events as an opportunity to bring people out and connect like-minded people through really cool parties that people feel drawn to and they enjoy and they tell all their friends in future. Now in my course, I do have a full section on marketing and also creating content pre and post show to assure that whenever you play, your events are packed. But anyway, don't get me wrong though. Once you do have a name for yourself, okay, and you've built a relationship with the venue, bringing people is less important, and you're going to be able to rely on the venue's crowd, and you're going to be able to build fan bases within the clubs that you're playing regularly. But at first you're going to be tested, and this means you may be playing side rooms or early time slots, and if you're playing and there's no atmosphere in the room, no matter how good the music is, right, you're not going to get asked back. But if you can create a really cool buzz, well, man, you're going to get asked back every single time. I know that for a fact. However, that opens up another quick side point, and that is what happens if you're old, okay? And none of my friends go clubbing, and I don't think I have any support. And if those thoughts usually lead to, like, let's say you're thinking, oh, I'm too old to be a DJ, then in truth, that is a video in itself, and it comes up a bit. And if that topic interests you, please let me know in the comments, and I'm going to make a video especially for you because I have some insights on how to be successful as an older DJ. And the truth is, there's a ton of older students of mine like really reaching levels of success that I wouldn't have imagined possible, and they've got there following my advice. So I feel I have got some tips for older DJs. Okay, but anyway, the third mistake is people turn up 5 minutes before their set and they leave as soon as they finish. Now, if you don't support the events that you want to be part of, honestly, don't expect to be part of the community that runs the event. So too often when running my own parties, I've seen DJs turn up moments before they're due on to start, right? But the thing is, because they weren't there to see the previous DJ, they can start sometimes playing tracks that the previous DJ to them just played like moments before, not even knowing that they're doing so. And then not only that, straight after they finish, they come up to me saying, sorry, I have to bail as I have an early start the next day. Now, it's one thing, okay, let's say you're a big DJ with big influence, you might be able to get away with that, okay? But if you're just starting out, okay, and you want repeat shows, my advice, cancel any appointments you have the next day, and you need to make a night out of it. You need to support the party. This means come early, stay late, spend some money on the bar, and invite as many people as you can. The venues, like, put it this way, okay, the venues that survived COVID deserve your support. And if you go in with an entitled energy as though the venue are lucky to have you there, then no one's going to want to work with you. Instead, think, what can you do for the venue, not what can you get from them? And the more you contribute to the events that you want to be involved with, the better off you're going to be. So even if it's just staying as long as you can, arriving early, seeing what the DJs before you play, and afterwards at least sticking around and supporting at least one DJ after you. And then, you know, make sure you make some time to thank the promoter for having you. And then even posting and sharing the promoters and other DJs are, even when you're not playing. See, the thing is, you have to start thinking what you can do for the promoter. You can find a middle ground. But all I'm saying is, change your mindset to what you can get from promoters, to what you can do to support the promoters. So there's a healthy club scene in the first place. We have to rebuild the scene together. Now, okay, now the next thing I do is capture as much footage and content as you can to use on your social media pages. Now, this has huge benefits. So number one, if the venue and the promoters see you talking up their event pre and post show online, they're gonna think you're a team player. And two, the more energy you create around yourself and your sets, the more people are going to start recognizing you. And that can really help you to make the jump from people saying, oh, that DJ was amazing, to people being able to recognize you and name you. And ideally, they're even coming to the events especially for you because they've seen you online and they're impressed with your work and they think, fuck man, that guy's got awesome energy. And also, right, having content on your pages helps other promoters to put a name to a face. And if you have pictures or videos of you playing to like good sized rooms, the promoters are going to think, wow, you have influence and you know how to work a room. A picture really is worth 1,000 words. So the more you can start building content, the more professional you're going to appear. And in time, as you build your profile and your fan base, the more you're going to be able to charge. Like when you play bigger events, people are going to see it. It's like you're a full package at all. Anyway, more on my course on that. But anyway, another advantage of posting content after your shows is if you put all this energy into promoting your show, and let's say the people weren't able to make it, okay? The first thing they're going to do is maybe check in on your pages to see how it went. Now, if your page is a ghost town, people may assume the worst and imagine that it was a failure. However, if you have footage of the night, photos, a gratitude post, thanking and tagging the promoters and the other DJs involved, you create an image of success. This then motivates people to go next time. They feel they might have missed out. And the promoters will be more interested in booking you in the future as you have an online presence, and in doing positive promo around their event, that you've helped them. They're going to be like, wow, man, that's cool. You plugged the event. They love their event. Now, the next step, and this is largely links up with that last step, and that is I suggest that you do a follow-up and do thank the promoters for giving you the opportunity to play and say something positive about the event. So trust me, okay? All promoters are emotionally invested in their events, and very few people recognize that. See, the majority when talking to promoters come across like they want something. So instead, don't ask for another show. Just show appreciation. Maybe even turn up to their event. Even share their art, even when you're not playing. Now, this is going to create a really, really positive impression. It's so rare that people are actually doing it. So my advice, again, lean out of expectation, be grateful, and do what you can to help the promoters without expecting anything in return. Do it for the love of the scene, for the culture of the parties, and the more you're doing that, it's going to actually go your way in the long run. So there is actually a ton more do's and don'ts, from being professional and courteous to not getting too drunk and causing trouble, and maybe even dancing, supporting other DJs, networking, playing to your time slot, even ending on tracks to help the next DJ after you make an easy transition, and even not jumping on the microphone and emceeing the whole time, and not even overdoing effects and stuff. But if you like the nature of this video, you should 100% check out my Club Pack course, which has over 30 videos about the music industry, including how to approach venues, exactly what to say, how to promote your show, how to build content. And on top of that, I give all my students feedback on mixes, and they also get the opportunity to play as part of our global monthly live streaming events, and also lifetime access to the Club Ready Tribe, which many are claiming to be worth the course fee alone, as the opportunities and contacts being made in this group on a worldwide basis, man, honestly, it'll blow your mind. I'm blown away by it. Anyway, so I'll link in my course below, so 100% jump on that before the price rise, okay? But anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. And thanks again for being part of the ever-expanding Club Ready Tribe. Thank you. Thanks, Mickey. You were a great little presence on that. I reckon that might be a take.